And I think a lot of people don't realize that they have symptoms from them. Maybe just learned to live with them. Like maybe they're just a little bit more tired, or their concentration isn't as good, or their sleep isn't as good, or their libido isn't all that great, and they just kind of learn to live with this stuff and just think that they're getting older. And it just kind of slowly but steadily creeps in, and people don't realize until they've removed these things how much better they can actually feel.
And how long was that journey? Because I think a lot of people, they expect they're just going to take a magic pill and that's going to be it. And I think the big lie that's being propagated inside our pharmaceutical industry. I had Dr. Sanjay Gupta on the British one yesterday on the podcast, and he was talking about, well, when they talk about these pills and solutions that are often offered to us through quote unquote conventional medicine or whatever, if you actually say, well, this will help with whatever, when you actually look at the data doesn't really support that. It's like it's a minuscule amount to maybe one person, which is not even the amount to the placebo side. Now, when you're going through kind of a more natural or holistic form of detox, how long did it take you to go from where you were to kind of feeling better and feeling confident and being where you want it to be?
Well, I had a little bit of a learning curve, so it was a little bit slow going at first. But now I think, over the almost last 10 years of researching this, I've added a lot of components that speed things up for people. But, so for me, and also another point to make is, detox is a lifestyle.
Yes.
There's no kind of finish line because we're always exposed every day to metals and chemicals. I mean, the average woman just in her personal care products gets an average of 125 different chemicals. So
125 different chemicals from all the feminine things that women like to use on themselves. No wonder guys are resistant to using that stuff.
Yeah. but guys are using more products now, so,
Yes.
it's, and then you're breathing air and you get mercury and aluminum, other things in the air.
They talk about like the dust that comes off brakes on highways, that goop that's like brake chemicals are very serious. And you look on your cars and you see all that scoring on that black scoring on your rims. Well, that's going into the air and people are breathing that, which interrupts, for example, the rate of diabetes in cities or people close to highways is like some exponential factor higher.
Yeah. And then you have thallium. Thallium is naturally occurring in petroleum products. We know how much that's going into the air, all the burning of oil and gasoline. And thallium is huge contributor to fatigue and brain fog, digestive issues. It's 10 times more toxic than mercury.
Wow.
And it's even used in assassination attempts as well, because it's that lethal. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, so this is a huge, huge issue. And, people have to be, paying attention to this. So I started, I mentioned, with heavy metals testing, and I started out with minerals. So just taking minerals is a fantastic detox.
What kind of minerals? What kind of minerals should people be taking?
Magnesium. Magnesium is the number one thing that people need to be taking that they're deficient in. You can't detox very well if you don't have adequate minerals. And if you are mineral deficient, you're more prone to accumulate and retain heavy metals, because the body can use some of these in the body, like zinc, for instance. If you're zinc deficient, your body and you use zinc to repair your arteries and your skin and things like that. If you don't have enough zinc, which a lot of people are deficient, then your body can use cadmium instead. Cadmium causes more cancers than all of the other heavy metals combined. And so the body can use cadmium to repair the arteries, and it's very hard and brittle. So the arteries don't have that nice responsive reflex to stressors or what have you, and expand and contract. And then people get hypertension, high blood pressure, they get heart disease. And that's why smokers get hypertension and heart disease and cancer. It's because of the cadmium in the cigarettes. So that's kind of that whole process. And so that just kind of gives you an idea of just more information about that. But So minerals are super key. Those are the super basic foundational way to detox. And just doing that will start pushing toxins out. So zinc, magnesium, selenium is super important. Most people are deficient in that. Potassium is super important to push out cesium and thallium, which we get cesium from nuclear disasters, nuclear testing, accidents, Fukushima, Chernobyl, lots of cesium toxicity. Everyone I test has cesium and thallium, every single person. And everyone has mercury, lead, and aluminum. Impossible not to have those metals. The other ones are kind of, people have different levels of them, but everyone has heavy metals to a certain degree. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they have symptoms from them. Maybe just learned to live with them. Like maybe they're just a little bit more tired, or their concentration isn't as good, or their sleep isn't as good, or their libido isn't all that great, and they just kind of learn to live with this stuff and just think that they're getting older. And it just kind of slowly but steadily creeps in, and people don't realize until they've removed these things how much better they can actually feel.